He is responsible for one of the most legendary bands of the 70s, KC and the Sunshine Band. For over 50 years, Harry Wayne Casey, better known as KC, has made audiences groove and dance to his high-energy music. During the peak of the disco craze, his band took the world by storm with hits that topped the charts. If we look at the number of hits and cultural impact, many say that, apart from the Bee Gees and Donna Summer, no one shone as brightly as KC and the Sunshine Band during the disco era, reaching an impressive milestone of 100 million records sold. But today, our focus isn't on the band, it's on the life of Harry Wayne Casey, a man who, at the height of fame, battled loneliness. KC spent much of his time on tour isolated, locked in hotel rooms with security guards stationed outside, while crowds of fans filled the hotels hoping to catch a glimpse of him. "I can only describe it with one word, that was lonely," KC confessed. "I was on top of the world, but the loneliest person I think I knew on the planet at the time." Even so, Harry never lost his passion for music. He wrote, recorded, and lived every moment of his career intensely. In 1982, he suffered a serious car accident that left him paralyzed. He retired shortly after, but he never gave up. Hi, I'm Leila, and today I'm going to tell you all about the heights and lows of Harry Wayne's life, the lead vocalist of KC and the Sunshine Band. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. And while you're at it, drop a comment letting us know your favorite song from the band. The 1970s were a time of intense racial and social struggles, but they also marked the rise of the disco era. The genre was revolutionary in its inclusivity, embracing the LGBTQ community, women, and people of all backgrounds and beliefs. This welcoming spirit made disco a cultural phenomenon that still captivates audiences today, with its greatest hits from the 70s continuing to fill dance floors. Now, let's go back to 1973. The world was in turmoil. The United States, in particular, was still grappling in the Vietnam War. The Watergate scandal was in full swing, and public dissatisfaction was spreading through students' protests, rising unemployment, and inflation. Amid this chaotic world, music became a way to escape reality. It was in this setting that a determined young man named Harry Wayne Casey, who we'll refer to simply as KC, began his journey. He grew up in Miami, Florida, also known as the Sunshine State, which directly inspired the name of the band he would go on to create. From a young age, KC was surrounded by music, both at home with his family and in the church he attended. His mother loved R&B and dancing, while his grandfather had a deep passion for the guitar. Family gatherings often featured cousins playing instruments and his mother singing alongside her sisters, creating a musical atmosphere that profoundly shaped his childhood. Even during elementary school, KC already knew what he wanted to be: an artist. With an immense passion for music, he did everything he could to get closer to that world. Working at a record store, hauling boxes at the Tone record distributor, and spending hours at a local studio, hoping someone would recognize his potential. That opportunity came through Henry Stone, owner of Tone Distributors and the record label TK Records. For KC, his early days at TK Records felt like being part of a big family, with Henry Stone acting as a mentor. Having worked with legends like Ray Charles and James Brown, Stone saw something special in KC's energy and optimism. He decided to give the young man the chance to turn his dream into reality, recording his own music. KC always had a clear vision of what he wanted from his music, something upbeat and catchy. He explained that he began writing songs in 1971, during a time when music felt too dark for his taste. "I wanted to create something inspiring that brought positive energy," he said. Two significant events helped shape his unique sound. The first occurred at a wedding, where he heard the Junkanoo Band, a highly festive musical genre with layered rhythms and horn accents that originated in the Bahamas. It's such an irresistible sound. It makes you want to get up and dance, Casey said. The second event took place during a performance he organized for Timmy Thomas, the artist behind the hit Why Can't We Live Together? At the concert in Washington, D.C., Casey noticed the entire audience using whistles, which reinforced his idea of creating music with an equally distinctive sound. In 1973, while working at Takey Records, he decided to form a band. The group was named Casey and the Sunshine Junkanoo Band, featuring musicians from the Miami Junkanoo Band and other studio artists from the label. Over time, the band evolved into the lineup we know now as Casey and the Sunshine Band. When Casey met Richard Finch, a sound engineer at TK Records, the future of the band changed forever. Their combined talent produced songs for other artists and eventually created hits for themselves. The band's first singles, Blow Your Whistle and Sound Your Funky Horn, were released and performed well enough for the record label to invest in a new single and a full album. During the recording process, Casey and Richard wrote Rock Your Baby, which was recorded by George McCrae and became a global hit, reaching #1 in 51 countries. Another highlight was Queen of Clubs, recorded by Casey and the Sunshine Band with George on vocals, which became a hit in the UK and led the band to tour the British Isles. With such a promising start, their self-titled debut album was released in 1975 and featured the group's first major hit in North America, Get Down Tonight. From there, the band's rise was meteoric. Hits like That's the Way I Like It captivated audiences, and Grammy Awards further cemented their success. The album Part 3 delivered additional hits like I'm Your Boogeyman, Shake Shake Shake, Shake Your Booty, and Keep It Coming Love, all of which dominated the charts. The band contributed to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack with the track Boogie Shoes, which became a disco music classic. As the 1970s began to draw to a closing, Casey realized that times were changing for those who were tied to the disco genre and decided to reinvent his sound. Please Don't Go, the first #1 hit of the 1980s, was also the first ballad recorded by Casey and the Sunshine Band and the last song released by the band's classic lineup. During the recording sessions for the 1979 album Do You Wanna Go Party, tensions among the band members were evident. Shortly after, Richard Finch, the co-writer and producer of all the hits with Casey, left the group on bitter terms. In an interview with Song Facts, he said that everyone was out of control. As we grew, the differences got greater and distractions got greater, and people were all over the place. So I'm like, okay, this is not what I want. All the craziness on the road and everything that was going on. I just didn't feel like I fit into that. I don't subscribe to that craziness. Casey kept the name Casey and the Sunshine Band, but from that point on, the band essentially became his solo project. Richard Finch stated that Casey sounds emotional in Please Don't Go because he knew that that song marked the end of the band's original lineup. In 1980, Casey managed to score one more major hit, the duet Yes I'm Ready with Terry DeSario, which reached the top 5 on the charts. But beyond that, the start of the new decade brought many challenges. TK Records, which had been the foundation of the band's success, went bankrupt. Even after signing with Epic Records, Casey and the Sunshine Band released 4 albums, but they had little impact on the charts. The most notable success was the single Give It Up, which achieved some recognition in 1984. However, Casey's frustration with the music industry had grown significantly, and the following year, he decided to leave music behind. In an interview with Classic Pop in 2023, he shared his reasons. "I was just done. I was tired of the business. I was disappointed in it all. It's very political at times, and I just was tired of being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it, you know? It was just all the demands. My father died that year too, and I was just tired." Casey also spoke about the sacrifices he made during his career. "I'd spent 10 years or more, day and night, sacrificing everything in my life. Every event, every anniversary, every wedding, everything. Everything came second to what I was doing, and I was just tired, and I just wanted to get away from it all."
You walk out that door, so please don't. But I'm ready to learn. Yes, I'm ready.
It was the end of a journey that had begun years earlier when he was selling records at a local store and doing everything he could to break into the music industry. However, more than a decade later, he felt worn out and decided to retire to do nothing. It's worth mentioning that in January 1982, Casey suffered a serious car accident, resulting in a concussion and a pinched nerve. During his recovery, he developed a dependency on painkillers, which led him to seek rehabilitation. In the 1990s, renewed interest in the 1970s and disco music brought Casey back to the musical scene. After years away and hearing friends tell him that artists of the time were imitating his style, he finally decided to return to the stage. The opportunity came with an invitation to a Casey and Sunshine Band reunion on their Arsenio Hall show. I laughed at first, but then I thought, maybe I'll go do that. So I called him, made all the arrangements, put a group together and went out and did the TV show, and bells started going off in my head. I started realizing, you know what, I miss doing this, Casey shared. Since then, Casey and the Sunshine Band has made a powerful comeback, now featuring a lineup of 15 musicians, singers and dancers. Their current performances blend the iconic hits of the 70s with new songs, covers of the 60s classics such as those featured on the 2015 album Feeling You, the 60s, and more elaborate choreography than during the band's golden era. In addition to worldwide tours, Casey's music has been featured in several films, such as Forrest Gump, Minions: The Rise of Gru, and Kingsman: The Secret Service. In 2000, he released the album I'll Be There For You, which received critical acclaim, and in 2002, he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Even after decades of career success, Casey continues to create. In 2019, he released the single Give Me Some More I in collaboration with Toni Moran and Nile Rodgers, and in 2023, he unveiled Romantica. At 73 years old, Casey continues to amaze with no plans for retirement and as passionate about music as he was at the beginning of his career. "I always loved music," he said to Classic Pop. "I'm not sure what my plan was, although I knew from a very early age that I was destined to be in the entertainment business. I don't know how to explain it. I even had an age in my head of 23, and by 22 I was already a successful writer. So it was really very strange to me. It's all been very magical, mysterious." Did you enjoy today's content? Were you already familiar with the story of the lead vocalist of Casey and the Sunshine Band? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to reply and send you a heart. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end, and I will see you in the next video.